Okay, so the next 30 minutes belongs to Indonesia. Selamat datang, welcome everyone to visit Indonesia, discover Indonesia. By the way, because Indonesia is such a large country, there will be two presenters for Indonesia. The first one is me, who's gonna talk about Indonesia in general. And then my friend Badai will be talking later about the most popular tourist destination in Indonesia, which is Bali. My name is Ivan, currently first year master student in media management at KTH. I'm from Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia. Here in the first slide, you can see 6 beautiful pictures representing Indonesia. To be honest, it was really hard for me to only choose some pictures that could represent a large country. But then, yes, I made it. Anyway, the first pictures you see is the one of the famous temples in Bali. And then next one, you see the rice terrace or the rice field that you can find mostly in Indonesia because our primary food is rice, not potatoes or salads or pasta. And then top right, you see the capital city, the strolling capital, I would say. It's the picture of the main street of Jakarta. I would say Jakarta is the city that never sleeps. And then bottom left, you see one of the mountains Indonesia has to offer. It's called Gunung Bromo. It's really cool and it's really nice there. And then middle bottom, you see the Komodo dragon. Well, it's basically a reptile, but people say it's also like kind of dragon. These Komodo dragons live on just 5 Indonesian islands. I think it's in the eastern part of Indonesia. They are truly fearsome. They are also heavy. And the most interesting fact is they also possess toxic bites, allowing them to hunt and kill far bigger animals, even humans. But then it is also possible to touch them, but then you need to have a guide. I mean, if you visit the island of Komodo, then you can have a tour guide there, and then it's possible to touch the Komodo dragon, because I did. It was kind of scary, though. And then the last picture, you see Indonesian boys taking pictures with international tourists, representing our friendliness and that we are also welcome the international tourists or the foreigners. Next slide. Indonesia is a large country, consists over 17,000 islands, where the major islands groups are Sumatra, Java, Borneo, Sulawesi, and Papua. The capital city is Jakarta. It's located on the island of Java. That being said, Java is the most populated island in the country. And in the world, we are the 4th most populous nation with almost 90%, well, it said 80%, actually almost 90% Muslim, and thus the largest Islamic country. We are also considered as a country with high tolerance, because we can live among different cultures and also different religion. I think someone needs to mute the microphone. Okay, our official language is Bahasa Indonesia. Almost everyone speaks Bahasa Indonesia, but then we also actually have almost 600 traditional languages and dialects. Our currency is Indonesian rupiah, but sometimes people confuse it with the Indian rupee because it just sounds similar. And fun fact, a lot of people think that Bali is a country and Indonesia belongs to Bali. Well, it's the other way around, because if you look at the map, Bali is the small island located next to Java Island. So again, Bali is not a country, but Bali belongs to Indonesia, not the other way around. Next, you see the national flag of Indonesia. It's a simple red and white. It's simple, but it has a deep meaning. Red means courage or bravery, while white means purity. It's called Republic of Indonesia. We were colonialized by the Dutch for 350 years, and then followed by the Japan for 3.5 years. On the right side, you see the national emblem of Indonesia, represented by the golden Garuda. Well, maybe some of you don't know what kind of animal Garuda is. The Garuda is the mythical golden eagle common to both Hindu and Buddhist mythology. It was a chimera, I don't know, chimera, I guess, having wings and beak and feet of the golden eagle, but immense arms and trunk. But as for the emblem, it's just represented by a golden Garuda with a heraldic shield on its chest with 5 symbols. And these 5 symbols constitute the Indonesian national ideology. It's called Pancasila. And the white ribbon on its feet, you can see a sentence there. If you translate it to English, it can be translated loosely, unity and diversity. The fun fact is the number of feather on each wing totals 17, on the tail totals 8, and below the shield or base of tails totals 19, and on the neck totals 45. So it represents the Independence Day of Indonesia, 17 August 1945. As a country with so many islands, it makes sense if we have so many beaches, but unfortunately, international people only know Bali, because one of the reasons I think it's just the media coverage. Here I show you some other alternatives. For example, the province is Nusa Tenggara. This province has been nominated by the lonelyplanet.com as the best travel in 2020. This region consists of some small islands that are home to beautiful beaches that are quieter and also beautiful than in the West region. And also one of Indonesia's best diving scene can be found here. And next one, you see Raja Ampat. It's on the island of Papua in the far west. I've never been there because it's really, it's not that easy to reach there from Jakarta. Like you have to change airplane twice or 3 times, I don't know. But it's worth a visit there. And then on the far east, on the far west, on the 0 kilometer of Indonesia, on the island of Sumatra, there is Pulau Sabang. It's my picture when I was traveling there. I was snorkeling there. It was really nice. Not a lot of people there, so I felt like I owned the island. And then bottom left, you see Gili. It's the islands next to Bali. So if you guys want to visit Indonesia, don't just visit Bali. I mean, if you visit Bali, then you can also visit these small islands. It's really beautiful, I promise. And then we have, of course, Bali. I will not talk much about Bali because Bali will present more about Bali later. And then the other beach, or it's also actually a small island. It's called Belitung, and it's also my pictures when I traveling there. I mean, there still are a lot of beaches, but I just have to pick 6, beaches. So not only beautiful beaches, but we also do have beautiful mountains, and even some of them are still active due to our location on the so-called Ring of Fire. But these are some of mountains that you are supposed to visit if you have time in Indonesia. From these 6 mountains, I've only been to Gunung Bromo and also to Gunung Merapi doing the lava tour. I mean, if you visit Indonesia and you are in the city of Yogyakarta in the Central Java, you should do the lava tour Merapi. It's really fun. You have to rent the off-road vehicle like this, a jeep, and it's really, really fun. And it's not expensive though. Okay, other things to mention is that Indonesia is home for large temples. For instance, on top left, you see Borobudur, a Buddhism temple. If I'm not mistaken, when I was in the elementary school, this Borobudur used to belong as the one of the 7 wonders in the world. But now people say it's the lost wonder. I don't know why. So the temple, you can visit the temple. It's really huge, and it's nice. A lot of international tourists also go and visit this temple. It's located in Yogyakarta, in the also on the island of Java, in central Java. In this city, there are a lot of temples, not only Borobudur. For example, there is also Prambanan. If Borobudur is Buddhism temple, Prambanan is Hinduism temple. It's also really beautiful temples. And I guess they also have the schedule for the Ramayana dance. I think our friends from India perhaps know more about Ramayana because it's originated in India. And then you again see the picture of Komodo. And then the last 2 pictures you see is orangutan. As you know, the number of orangutan just keep decreasing over time. So we have been trying our best to preserve our orangutan. By the way, orang means people and utan means forest. So it's basically the forest people. Can you see how cute the baby of orangutan is? Now, batik. Batik is not a cloth, but it refers to a generic wax resist dyeing technique used on textile. The word batik is thought to be derived from the word ambatik, which translated means a cloth with little dots. The suffix tix means little dot or drop or point. And batik is made either by drawing dots and lines of the resist with a special tool called chanting, as you can see on top left picture. The woman is drawing batik with chanting. And to make batik, selected areas of the cloth are blocked out by brushing or drawing hot wax over them, and the cloth is then dyed. The parts covered in wax resist the dye and remain the original color. After the final dyeing, the wax is removed and the cloth is ready for wearing or showing. And batik is one of the Indonesia's cultural heritage that is recognized by the UNESCO. Now, I'm also wearing batik. Nowadays, batik is not kind of oldish, so it's now also attractive to the younger people. So like most of people now like to wear batik. And we also now wear batik not only for special occasion or formal occasion, but also other occasions such as you can see, it's the used also to as the national uniform in the Miss Indonesia in the Miss Universe event. And when the Miss Universe visiting Indonesia, they also wear kind of batik like this. And then top left, you can see our president wearing batik, and also the former Australian Vice Prime Minister was also proud to wear batik. And batik is not only attractive to Indonesian, but also to the foreigners. And there are also some batik that are made for couple, as you can see on the right picture. So as I can see, as I have mentioned before about the high tolerance, I will tell about that later. Now, I'm showing you the picture of the largest mosque in Southeast Asia. It's called Istiklal. The largest mosque, this is a largest mosque that can host over 200,000 people. This national mosque was built to commemorate Indonesian independence and named Istiklal, an Arabic word for independence. The fun thing is, this mosque was not designed by a Muslim, but it was designed by a Christian named Frederick Silaban, a Christian architect from North Sumatra. That was really interesting fact, I think. Um, yeah, top left, you can see some of the angle from the outside of the mosque. And bottom left, you see the interior design of the mosque. It's really huge. And then bottom right, you see when the former US President Obama and Michelle Obama visiting the mosque. President Obama praised the Istiklal Mosque as a symbol of religious tolerance, which characterizes Indonesia and Indonesians, inspiring the world. Talking about tolerance, if you see the top right picture, you can see the Istiklal Mosque, and right in front of Istiklal Mosque is the largest cathedral in Indonesia. So can you imagine that we can, I mean, two different religions can really live among each other like this in harmony? I mean, if also you hear or you watch about intolerance or about bad news about America on TV or on internet, I think it's only the media coverage, because sometimes media has their own agenda. Now talking about food, this is actually the most difficult part to tell, because now I'm fasting, and yeah, there are actually a lot of Indonesian foods, but I only have chosen some of the most popular one, at least 6 favorite foods of mine. The first one is gado-gado, or some say it's Indonesian salad. Basically, it's salad with peanut sauce. This is one of the most popular foods for a foreigner in Indonesia. And the next one, we have rendang. Oh my God, this is really delicious. It's a traditional food from West Sumatra. Rendang is made with beef meat stewed in coconut milk and spices. Rendang was crowned #1 best food in the world by CNN's readers in 2011 and 2017. And cooking rendang is not that easy. It's like a marathon, because you need like for over 6 hours to cook rendang in a low heat. So it's like almost half of the day. Why? Because it allows the coconut milk and spices to sit in and thicken. The end result is a thick dry curry, best served with plain hot white rice and eaten with your hands. And then we have bakso on top right. It can be translated loosely meatball, or in Swedish word köttbullar, but this is the Indonesian version, and we eat with beef soup and also noodle, and it's also really good. And then bottom left, we have fried rice, nasi goreng. This is also one of the most popular dishes for the international tourists. Basically, you can just mix with shrimp, chicken, with everything you have. It just depends on your mood. And then we have satay, or internationally, maybe people know it as satay. This is also made out of chicken or beef with peanut sauce. And the last one is the Indonesian fish cake. It's called pempek Palembang, and it comes from the South Sumatra. So now I'm just gonna show you short about my hometown, about the capital city, the sprawling capital, with 10 million people on daylight and 6 million people at night, because people commute to work to Jakarta, because the main economic area is located in Jakarta. Can you imagine 10 million in one city compared to 10 million in a Sweden, in a country? So it's really crowded. It's big city, the city that never sleeps, crowded, but still, I love Jakarta. There are a lot of malls, luxury malls, just like Aura mentioned, because it's hot, so people just need to find somewhere with air conditioning. And you can basically find everything and do everything in malls. Like I can stay in malls for 6 hours, or maybe just like from 10 to 8 p.m. It's because it's nice, and you can eat there. You can also have massage, etc. top right picture, it's the National Monument of Jakarta. It's located in the middle of a huge square, and you can go to the top of the tower. And if you see, the top of tower is gold, 50 kilogram gold. Well, 50 kilogram, can you imagine that? And then bottom left, it's a picture of kind of street foods in Jakarta. I love street foods because it is actually where you can see the real culture. And besides, the price of the foods are much cheaper than those in the restaurant or in malls. And then in the middle bottom, you can see one of the malls in Jakarta. And even they have Ferris wheel. It's like an amusement park in a mall. And then last picture is Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, or it's the miniature of Indonesia. If you don't have so much time to visit Indonesia, but you want to learn more about Indonesia and you are in Jakarta, then you can just visit this part because you can see the miniature of Indonesia there, and it's really nice and it's really huge. So it's the Indonesian people. I copied some of the points from our presentation, like we love to laugh, sing, and karaoke, but we don't have karaoke equipment in our house. It's not like in the Philippines. We are very family and friend oriented. As you can see, most of the pictures are not private, are not individual, but almost with other friends, with other people. We are also very good at adapting to new environments. We are very polite because we are a high context country. I think most of the Asian countries are high context. We are really scared of hurting others. We are trying to avoid confrontation always. That's why we smile a lot. If we meet our friends, we don't ask how are you, but sometimes we ask, have you eaten, or where are you going, or where were you? Yeah, the picture on top right and bottom right, those are the pictures when my German friends visited Jakarta, and then I invited them to a rafting trip in West Java for 2 nights. It was like a very memorable experience for us. And then middle bottom, you can see the family-oriented picture. It's our president's family. Yeah, and then top left, it was during the Sylvester. No, it's before the New Year's Eve here in Stockholm. And as you can see, the women with the scarf, it's Novita, the president of SI Stockholm University. Hi, Novita.
Hi.
Yeah, and this page is just I just want to see what the international or the foreigners say about Indonesia. Mostly like everyone is so friendly here. I just love the Indonesian people, etc. And then this is the last page of mine. They are the stewardess, the cabin crew of the Indonesian Airlines. It's called Garuda Indonesia. Garuda Indonesia was nominated as the world's best airline cabin crew in 2019. The first one, I think, Singapore Airlines, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, Garuda Indonesia has a very best service. So if you want to visit Indonesia, don't forget to book your flight ticket with Garuda Indonesia. So that's all from my side. Terima kasih. Please visit Indonesia. And now I give the microphone to my friend Badai.
Hi, my name is Badai, and I'll share about Bali, a little bit, a little island in Indonesia, but a lot of people know about it. Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, please.
Welcome to Bali. This is Gates of Heaven in Lempuyangan Temple. It's in eastern part of the Bali, within the highland of Mount Lempuyang, 1,000 700 meters above the sea level. And if by any chance you travel to a random destination, how do you know if you are in Bali? Anyone know about something that there's everything in Bali? This one. This is the small offering. You can see the small offering in every corner, especially in temple. Just don't step over on the offering. The small offering called Canang Sari, or often left on the ground. It's from the palm leaf, and flower petals or money snacks are inside. These offering are to appease the spirit. So be careful when you're walking in Bali. And this is the map of the main tourist areas in Bali. People usually start a day in Sanur, in the east side, so to catch sunrise, and go west to see sunset in Seminyak, Legian, Kuta, and the other beach. In this session, I'll explore tourist areas and activities in Seminyak, Legian, Kuta, Nusa Dua, Nusa Lembongan, and Ubud. And I'll talk about traditional dance named Berrin Dance and Kecak Dance. So the first is the beaches. Here, sunset in Kuta. Kuta gained fame as a great spot for surfing during the 70s, and it has remained Bali's premier vacation destination. Located on the southern point of the island, the long, broad stretch of sand, one of the best maintained and most scenic beaches on the island. Then the bottom left is the Seminyak. Seminyak is the one of the island's most exclusive vacation destination. You can see high-end boutiques, five-star restaurants, and luxury hotels and spas in Seminyak. So if you are not on budget, I suggest you to stay at Seminyak. There are a lot of yoga studio in Seminyak. You can try Balinese yoga in there. And the bottom right, you can see the monument of Bali bombing in Legian. The bombing happened on 12 October 2002. It's the darkest time in Bali's history. Legian is best known for its nightlife, and most importantly, it's cheap to spend the night there. And the next one, you can try sea walker. It's one of the top must-do activity in Bali. You can try it in Nusa Dua. It's safe for everyone. You don't need to have any experiences in scuba diving or some certificate in that. You can just walk. And the right picture, you can go to Nusa Lembongan. It's 25 minutes cruising from the main island Bali. You'll have a leisure time exploring the island. One of the recreational activities are exploring the mangrove forest, or you can go snorkeling in Nusa Lembongan. And this is Ubud. Bali is not only about beach. You can stroll to the rice terrace and try Balinese spa massage and try jungle swing to just update your Instagram feed. And if you want to escape from city, you can try a lot of nice resort in Ubud. Usually it's team nature or back to nature. Mm-hmm. And this is Barong Dance. Barong is the name of the character who's the king of the spirits in Bali mythology. The dance tells a story of the eternal battle between good and evil. The good is the Barong, the evil is the Queen Rangda. Barong played by two men in a big lion costume, like in the right picture. And usually, people also do the Keris dance. It's where a male dancer stab themselves with the traditional keris. It's like a traditional knife or sword, and remain unharmed. And the last is Kecak. Kecak is it's adapted from Ramayana and is inspired by trance exorcism ritual, created as entertainment in 30s, and performance traditionally involve at least 150 male dancer, and the performers sings a cappella. It's monkey chant, like cha 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 cha. I want everyone to participate in this dancing in this video. So I'll play this video, and maybe everyone can turn on their video and audio so we can sing together at this dance. The sing is only monkey chant, so you can just say cha 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 cha, and if you want, you can put your hand like the cha dance like this, and we can dance together. So anyone want to join? You can turn on your audio at least and video.
Right now?
Yeah. We can start participating in this dance. It's 3 minutes. We can refresh and feel the Bali in Sweden. Okay, everyone's there, so we can start. This is the monkey chant. You can try cha 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 cha. Cha 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 cha. Come on, everyone. Come on, let's sing together.
Cha 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 cha
Cha cha cha cha cha cha cha cha well, usually in this performance in Bali, the visitors can sing together and can join
Come on, Patrick.
dance is just making hands.
Super.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the dance.
Super.
I think that's all from Bali.
Super cool.
Where to end it, but yeah. That was a really great ending. Lovely.
If you want, we can sing again and dance.
It's enough, I guess.
Raz was really into it.
Super into it. It was really powerful, beautiful. So what does it represent?
Yes.
What does the dance represent? Sorry, just Buddy.
It's a trance exorcism ritual, and it turned to entertainment since 30s. So actually, it's exorcism in traditional Bali.
Is that what you just made us do?
Who did you exercise?
I did not sign up.
I didn't know that.
Did we exercise Patrick?
So I've got some questions regarding Indonesia here. Like the first one is, can I survive in Indonesia with only English? Do they Indonesians speak English? Well, half of the Indonesian they speak fluent English, and some of them also speak English but without proper grammar. But at least they understand when they listen to write English. So basically speaking, yes, you can survive in Indonesia with only English. Is Indonesia a safe country? How about the crime situation, especially in the capital city? In my opinion, Indonesia is mostly a safe country to travel to, though it still has its dangers from natural disaster and also terrorism or petty theft. But just be very cautious, just common sense, just be very cautious on the street and plan your trip carefully. Well, for example, by simply keeping informed and being aware of the potential dangers, you can minimize the risk of coming to harm. For example, just like maybe, yeah, I mean, just try to be more cautious. This is very interesting. I used to wear batik, but I didn't know if it's originated in Indonesia. Yes. Oh, by the way, if you visit the city of Yogyakarta, there is also a course of how you make batik. I've never been there. I mean, I've never done the batik drawing, but most of my German friends or international friends, they usually also visited this course. It seems interesting. What is the main revenue of Indonesia? Mostly from the nature, the fossil fuels, including, how do you say, petroleum, natural gas, and coal. And they all constitute a major source of revenue. How does your education system work? The primary education takes like 12 years, 6 years of the elementary schools, and then 3 years of the junior high school, and then 3 years of the high schools, and then people go to university. But because of the university of the tuition fees are also high, and most of the people cannot really afford, so usually people just leave the education system after the high school. Do you pay for it?
Indonesian friend that told me that you are moving your capital or you're building a new capital or something like that. And I was wondering why and where is that new capital located?
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's been a discussion about moving the capital city because Jakarta is now too crowded, because like every economic or business thingy are located only in Jakarta in one point. So people from all over the country just come to Jakarta. Can you imagine how dense Jakarta now? So the president is thinking to move the capital city to another island, the Borneo Island, where it's really near to the Philippines, I guess. The city is Palangkaraya. It's such a long word, but why they choose this city? Because there's not a lot of people, inhabitants there on the island and also on the city. So yeah, it's still in the, but I think it will be implemented. It's not gonna be that short. Of course, it will take a long time to implement the moving of the capital.
It might become like Canberra though.
Yeah, yeah.
Canberra's basically dead.
Actually, I'm really up to this idea because Jakarta used to be a peaceful city because I'm from Jakarta, so I know how Jakarta was. It was really peaceful, not a lot of high buildings, not a lot of cars, people. It was really nice and green. Another question?
Apart from religion, which other social thing brings you together?
Sorry?
Apart from religion, which other social thing brings you together?
Food. Like every time we gather in groups and we meet in a restaurant, and then we just order a lot of foods to eat together, and then the obligatory thing to do before we eat is to make a picture of the food and also the group picture. That is a must. So just don't wonder if you are hanging around with us or with Aura before we eat.
Yeah.
Picture first.
Picture first. Yeah, we should do a Philippines Indonesia eat
Why not?
dinner.
And dance.
I want some rendang, okay? We actually also go to school
The
the
same
same.
question. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so the schooling system in the Philippines kind of similar, 6 years elementary. Before, when I was studying, we only had 4 years of high school. So I actually went to university at 16 and I graduated at 21. But now they added 2 more years of senior high school. So you enter at 18. Yeah. Sorry, Gabriel.
Gabriel, did you want to ask?
I forgot what I was going to ask. Sorry.
About
Okay.
food? Or
Well, if there's no other question, maybe we can move to another continent.
Oh yeah, it was the same one I asked you, Aura. Like, if you could change one thing of your country, like which one would it be? And of course, it cannot be the location of the capital because you're doing that right now.
What else? Oh, I mean, I used to say like implement English from the very beginning, from the kindergarten, but they are doing it now because in my era, I started learning English in the 4th grade, and I think it was just too late. But nowadays, even parents talk English to their children, like Badai's daughter, she speaks English better than Indonesian. Yeah. Is that satisfaction?
Well, of course, I mean,